We now know that the resultant damage caused by human impact on this planet's environment is climate change. This process is accelerating. The Earth is increasingly suffering from climate extremes. This planet is either too hot, due to heat waves, on fire, or drowning from floods. For many years now, climate change activists and concerned scientific bodies have been collectively beating the drum with the same incessant message. However, many prominent scientists and concerned people have also been saying that we will not properly tackle climate change unless we also address the problem of global overpopulation. But we firstly need to know by how much we need to reduce our global population in order to establish a balance which is sustainable on Earth. In order to answer these and many other related questions, we need to know the amount of natural resources each of us requires in order to survive and prosper. The United Nations has been collecting records for more than half a century in order to calculate two major annual figures. Our inputs, i.e. what the Earth can regenerate from the Sun's energy, i.e. the biocapacity of the Earth, and our outputs, what we consume each year, termed our ecological footprint. It is like a very simple equation. On the one side, the Earth's sustainable natural resource production, i.e. agriculture, forestry or air quality, a term known as biocapacity, and on the other side of the equation, what we collectively or individually consume. This includes everything from dietary requirements, space for buildings, the energy we need in order to thrive, and all the other Earth's natural resources we consume, a term known as ecological footprint. The United Nations and governments have enough information with which to give us a clear picture on the state of the planet today. We also have a good idea as to how many people can live on this planet sustainably. We know this because if we plot the Earth's total biocapacity against its total ecological footprint, the lines cross in the early 1970s, when the population of this Earth was 3.75 billion. This figure of 3.75 billion indicates that the world would currently need to reduce its population by half in order to re-establish a harmonious balance with its environment. The reasons why government have been slow to recognize the contribution that overpopulation has played in bringing about our planetary imbalance are multifold, but here are just two reasons to start with. Firstly, there are the over-optimists who would like us to believe that if we cut carbon emissions, the world will return to its sustainable state, and then we would not worry ourselves about population numbers. The population problem, they believe, would simply go away. It is true that cutting large chunks of global greenhouse emissions may be possible, but this may be difficult to attain in the short term, especially as the global population could increase to between 10 billion and 12 billion before it stabilizes. Secondly, the them and us differences on this Earth, i.e. the inequality of the distribution of global wealth. This is a major stumbling block. Rich European, Arab and American countries exert a far greater ecological footprint than any indigenous Indian or a person from Somali. If we don't seriously address this blatant inequality in life prospects, this will lead to envy and often ends up in a lot of fighting. If we were all to become rich, then this Earth would seriously have a problem. This planet could not, with its 7.8 billion, provide a high standard of living for everyone without creating an environmental catastrophe. However, there is a glimmer of hope that some governments will be able to plan for a brighter future. For the first time in human history, some populations have already started to decrease without war, famine or disease. In Japan, the population has dropped from 128.5 million in 2010 to 126 million today, and could, according to current projections, reach a figure as low as 75 million by the year 2100. This begs the question as to how far Japan would need to reduce its population before it reaches a sustainable population level. The results of historical data would tend to indicate that a sustainable population level for Japan should be in the range of 30 to 40 million. We know this because in 1961, when Japan's population was 96 million, its ecological footprint outstripped by a factor of 3 times its biocapacity potential to regenerate its natural resource for it to survive. Hence, Japan has been heavily reliant on imports of goods and services in order to maintain its high standard of living for a very long time. Other countries will shortly follow Japan. China, for instance, as its population approaches 1.46 billion, is projected to decline steeply after 2029. These projected declines in population are a global phenomenon. Countries such as Poland, the United Kingdom, Germany, Spain, Portugal, and many others are set to follow suit. If we really want to improve the outcome of this planet, then scientists and concerned people should now become more outwardly assertive by encouraging our politicians, economists, and businessmen to accept this outcome in a positive way and plan for its eventuality. As we have already indicated, current scientific analysis of the available data indicates that this globe would only achieve some sort of ecological balance if we could halve our current global population. It is only through achieving a sustainable population level will this Earth once again attain its climatic normality. Whatever the future outcome of all this, we know that there is going to be a lot of debate and fights before this planet achieves some sort of sustainable population level. However, it is hoped that if science is correct, then this will bring irrefutable evidence and hence pressure on governments to act. Either way, the governments of this Earth will need to be more realistic in their self-evaluations if they are to plan ahead.